This story out of Florida is fucking wild. This is 18-year-old Brooklyn Sims, who was working at a local Home Depot. She had a 2-year-old daughter with this man, twin-year-old Keith Agee. Back in August, he got a phone call from his doctor telling him he had an STD.
I've never been so mad in my life.
Which he says made him so mad, he immediately left his job, drove to his grandmother's house, grabbed a gun, and proceeded to drive 90 minutes to the Home Depot where Brooklyn was working. You probably already know where this is going. He confronted her, telling her, quote, "You gave me something," to which she reportedly replied, "Not this again," before turning to walk away from him. That's when he shot her 7 times in aisle 52 of the Home Depot, killing her with other workers around. What's crazier, his mom also worked at the Home Depot as her manager and texted her son that if he didn't kill Brooklyn, he was a motherfucking bitch. She was clearly aware of the plan, telling him to be careful and saying, "As long as you don't shoot me." But it turns out Sims didn't even have an STD. The trial just started this week, where it came out that she tested negative days before the shooting. Agee confessed to the killing. He was charged with premeditated murder and faces a mandatory life sentence if convicted. Agee's mom was also charged in the murder, and her trial is set to start in February.
And you mean to tell me this crazy lame ass dude, look at his face, y'all. This lame ass dude gonna say, "Oh, you gave me an STD," and then he gonna turn around and do what he did. You know you got fucking mental problems for the simple fact you ain't even have an STD, bruh. And if you did have one, you didn't get it from her, because she was STD free and she was about to leave you because evidently you not motherfucking all the way there. That's what she should have done. And you know what I'm saying, I felt like she was about to, because this is not the first time you done came to this young lady with this nonsense. So hopefully the right justice gets served, because she didn't need to lose her life. Domestic violence is some shit that's not being talked about enough. And you know, somebody gotta put this out in the atmosphere that it's not cool.
Was this woman's death a terrible accident or a cold-blooded murder? This is 39-year-old Yasim Demir. She was on a picnic back in July with her boyfriend, 42-year-old Nizamettin Gursu, when tragedy struck. He says they were drinking alcohol near a cliff at a popular vacation spot when at one point he went back to his car to get more supplies. He claims that while his back was turned, he heard a scream. He turned back to see that Yasim had lost her balance and plummeted off the side of a 104-foot ledge. Yasim was rushed to the hospital, but sadly, she died in the early hours of the next day. Her boyfriend claims this was a tragic accident, but her family thinks the details just don't add up. They've made a stunning allegation. They say he pushed Yasim off the ledge when she rejected his marriage proposal. The boyfriend says he proposed the day before, but Yasim's family says she absolutely would not have accepted. They say she was actually planning to dump him. On top of that, they also say Yasim was scared of heights and that she wouldn't have gone that close to a cliff ledge alone. The family filed a criminal complaint, and what the police found was shocking. Their investigation found signs of a violent struggle near the cliff's edge, including broken glasses and a speaker, and they also found the engagement ring in the boyfriend's pocket, not on Yasim's finger. The boyfriend was then arrested and charged with murder, but sadly, this isn't an uncommon occurrence in Turkey where this happened. According to experts, femicide is a significant issue in Turkey, and they say there have been hundreds of cases in the last few years just like this. We hope Yasim and her family get some justice, and one day, all women everywhere will be treated with the respect they deserve.
My condolences goes to her family, just for the simple fact, man, there's so much domestic abuse and violence going on in this world. She ain't even want to marry you. She was planning on leaving you because of your ways, because of how you are. And as we seen, for those that's been rocking with me, even if you ain't been watching my channel that long and you just in tune with the world, a lot of mental health is really needed, and a lot of mental health awareness need to be thrown out there, just like a presidential campaign, or you know, domestic abuse need to be put out there just like a presidential campaign when it's out for election, or any advertisement that they trying to do, because nobody deserves to be attacked, abused, threatened, any type of way to make them feel uncomfortable. The shit's sad as hell. But again, my condolences goes to the family.
This story out of New York City is shocking. It all went down in the Bronx when these three guys, seen here right after the incident in the video released by the NYPD, apparently mugged a 78-year-old man. Police say the three punched him once in the head, sending him to the ground. The three then made off with the elderly man's phone and wallet before speeding off on mopeds. But here's the thing, one of those guys was actually a 13-year-old boy. Cops aren't releasing his name because he's underage, a standard practice. So why do crimes like this keep happening? The main reason? Most people can't find a decent paying job, while people at the top have more money than they can possibly spend, thanks to a government that won't fairly tax them. Before the pandemic, 43% of New Yorkers lived in poverty, and in the Bronx where this happened, 1 in 3 live in extreme poverty, meaning they make under $14,000 a year. Meanwhile, this guy, Steven Schwartzman, one of the richest men in the state, just bought a sprawling English country estate for over $80 million. He's worth a reported $27 billion and has used his wealth to fight against common sense measures that would help lift working class people out of poverty, like rent control, and vehemently opposes the establishment of a wealth tax like the one proposed by Bernie Sanders and AOC. Meanwhile, the poor old man who was knocked to the ground in that attack in the Bronx was thankfully physically okay.